All right, here's a video, and it asks the question, is drunk sex rape?
Yes. Always.
Greetings,
oh,
YouTube.
he's drunk making this video.
So, currently I'd like
video.
to go ahead and discuss something that's been a little controversial as of late.
Is it?
This topic.
I'm not sure who this is, but we got it sent to us, and he has an interesting take on it.
It's one of the social justice community on YouTube.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I recognize the face. I can't remember who it is, though.
It's a rather toxic one. Regardless of your opinion on the topic, you're going to have a bunch of people on either side. One side either going, oh my gosh, you're coddling everyone, this is bullshit. Or you're going to have the other side going, oh my god, you're a rape apologist, this is bullshit. You know, something along those lines. And
they both go, ah!
Yeah.
Like, ah!
They turn into the Incredible Hulk.
No matter which side they're on. That Hulk transformation always happens.
You won't like me when I'm angry.
No winning when it comes to people, but that's what a controversial topic is all about. So, when we talk about the issue at hand, that issue being whether or not drunk sex can sufficiently be called rape, oh yes, we're going there today. The general argument against this proposition, as I've experienced, tends to come in a few different ways. The first argument is, well, you can't take away someone's responsibility because they're intoxicated. We don't do that when they go drunk driving, do we? We don't do that when they go kill someone while drunk, do we? We don't say, people can't say, whoops, I just murdered someone, but it's not my fault, I'm drunk.
Okay, argument over. Thanks very much, mate. You know,
yeah, I mean that would be my argument. So I'm really interested in
okay.
hearing what his rebuttal to that is, because to me that seems like a pretty airtight way of looking at it. Being drunk does not.
Drive, you know?
Yeah, being drunk or intoxicated on any substance does not remove your culpability or give you a free pass to break laws or, you know, I mean, so...
It's like, shit, man, I stole your car stereo when I was high on crack, but it's okay, I was high on crack, so we're cool, right?
Yeah, I mean, you know, that we don't make those sorts of exceptions for people. I mean, maybe in our personal lives, if someone, you know, I said those hurtful things while I was drunk, we'll forgive them or some shit. But you know, it's a different matter.
Not on a legal,
but not on a legal basis,
no,
right?
Why would you?
So let's see.
To me, this particular counterpoint seems to very much miss the point. The point is not that we give people a free pass from responsibility while impaired. It's that we don't accept that they're allowed to do anything while impaired that requires rational judgment. It's not that we take away responsibility from a drunk person, it's that we tell them that they're in a position where they're incapable of making a rational decision. This, of course, doesn't mean that we won't punish them. It just means that we would prefer they never pick up a weapon while impaired.
So what do you think of that?
Hang on. He's saying that we... Can you play it again quickly? Because I'm not sure that this is necessarily something that follows. This seems to be rather a non sequitur. It's not the same thing as, say, can you make a rational decision, as it is to say you are physically impaired from driving.
Well, here's how I understand it. I think the point he's making is like, okay, if you commit a crime while drunk, you're not responsible. I mean, you are responsible for that crime. But we wouldn't let a drunk person, I don't know, go hang gliding or something, and we should treat sex the same way.
Yeah, the thing is, I mean, sex isn't necessarily a rational decision, is it?
It's a biological decision.
I mean, yeah. I don't understand. The thing is, it's like...
in some ways.
There's nothing that's physically dangerous about sex. Like, most of the things we would stop a drunk person from doing are things where they are going to, like, harm themselves. Like, don't drive a car because you'll probably crash and die. Don't operate heavy machinery because of the same reason.
Well, and then
no, I mean,
also,
you'll hurt someone else. You know, that's
right.
So there's more nuance to it too. I mean, there's can be people who are drunk that can probably consent. Like, yeah, I do want to have sex, and there's probably people who are so drunk they can't. I mean, there's a gradient. And
well, I mean, if someone's passed out, I mean, you know.
Exactly. If someone's passed out drunk, they obviously cannot. There's
passed out. Yes, I mean, it's difficult to measure. It's for each individual how drunk someone has to be for it to not be consensual.
That's why there has to really be a gradient. It can't just be something. Oh, you did this, or it's this or that.
But
how do how
do you legislate something that would even account for that sort of distinction?
That then speaks to a whole wider range of issues. I mean, if I'm drunk and I agree to a mobile phone contract, am I incapable of agreeing to a mobile phone contract? Because, I couldn't make a rational decision, and now...
Call back Verizon the next day, like, hey, Verizon, I was wasted,
sir.
All right?
Yeah.
That did not count.
Sold me. You should have found out how intoxicated I was, and now you're in trouble. It's a ridiculous rationale, and it could never really be workable in the real world.
But I mean, like, you would say that if someone is, like, drunk to the point where they literally can't even say yes or no, like
they're totally delusional,
like passed out or just completely like out of it, and someone just fucks them.
Of course, sure. Then there's no way you could have actually gotten consent.
Okay,
yeah, of course.
So I just want to put that out there, just in case any people who are trying to go against what we're saying here to try to mischaracterize it as that.
Absolutely.
No one here agrees with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to listen to more, I guess.
Punish them for doing so.
A little bit more.
This is also why we don't let them get behind the wheel of a car. We'll punish them for doing so.
Mm-hmm.
The point of the idea that sex with a drunk person is rape is that an impaired person cannot reasonably give consent to their predicament.
I disagree. I absolutely disagree. Being drunk doesn't make you retarded. For the love of God, I mean, that's literally the stupidest thing, and again, that literally takes away any responsibility to anyone who's had a couple of beers. Bullshit! Can't they consent? Of course they can. If I'm drunk, I know I shouldn't be having sex with a fat chick. I know that this giant land whale at the end of it. I know that in a bar she's coming up to me, and I knew at the beginning of the night when I wasn't drunk, I was like, no. And I know now that she's looking so much better, and I'm knowing, oh, beer goggles. But how much do I actually care at the moment? That's the question. And lo and behold, I don't really care that much. And so there we go. And then I wake up the next morning and go, hey, I was raped.
Yeah, you were raped because you made a bad decision while drunk.
I was gonna say
you slept with someone you didn't really want to.
She's not a whale. She's like Jaws. She's waiting for you the whole night, dude. Wait for the moment to strike.
She probably roofied that drink.
Yeah, I roll over and it's Roosh V there, and it's
like, damn, you're good, dude.
He's a pickup artist,
I mean, it was a bad decision on my part, but it wasn't rape.
Yeah,
Roosh V.
It was Roosh V all along.
I'm not saying that drunk people are free from responsibility. On the contrary, we give them more responsibility because they're not even allowed to engage in any sort of actual activities once they hit the point of throwing away blood alcohol.
Mr. President, quick! Mr. President, quick! We need the nuclear launch codes, but first, drink this Johnny Walker Black. This is too much responsibility for a sober man.
Hey, they often do show the president drinking in movies. There's probably something to that.
We're going to DEFCON 5.
That's when he opens up the globe and pours like the whiskey, straight whiskey.
And then he takes a sip. He's like, "God help us all."
Or we sometimes punish them more harshly because of their state of mind, because they're literally engaging in irresponsible behavior.
Irresponsible.
Yes, irresponsible.
Keep your ears clean, kids. Always scrub behind them. It's irresponsible.
Saying someone cannot give reasonable consent is simply not the same as saying that someone doesn't have any responsibility. Children, and by children I usually mean preteens to early teenagers, those kinds of people, because I don't usually hear about this happening
those human
too
beings.
much younger than that. But children
those
of that
types of
age
humans that exist
can
in this
usually
world.
be convicted for murder that I know of. They still can't legally give consent to sex. Clearly, the capability of giving consent.
What do you make of that?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's right, but that's beside the point.
Why?
Because we're not talking about children. We're talking about adults who have had a few beers and know what they're doing, just have less inhibitions and give consent to it, even though they know they're going to regret it.
Fair enough.
Consent is not equivalent of taking away all responsibility. The second argument that you'll sometimes hear is that from the anti-drunk sex is rape people is something along the lines of You can't be so drunk that you do something you otherwise wouldn't do. Well, that's simply factually inaccurate.
What?
I mean, medically speaking, it
No,
is.
he's right. He's right. I mean, their argument is you can't be so drunk you do something you wouldn't normally do. It's
That's not true at all.
Yeah, that's exactly what being drunk is like. So he's not on their side there, so that's good.
Yeah.
Fact possible for that to happen. It is, and it indeed does happen. It does. When we're drunk, our inhibitions are lowered, so something that would filter through our minds as perhaps a bad idea wouldn't seem like such a bad idea while drunk. That's a fact. One might say, well, I've never been too drunk to give consent. Well, fine. But we can't make laws nor make a presumption of someone's cognitive awareness based off of exceptions to the medical majority.
You know, I would think, though, that when people get drunk and do stupid shit, it's because part of them does want to do that.
Not always.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never felt like I was possessed by a will to do something that had never even occurred to me sober. But
yeah, I get the feeling that a lot of people do drink specifically to to remove themselves of the responsibility of what they've done because they wanted to do it.
Yeah, I thought that's what drinking was for.
I generally think
so
that's pretty much
they
true.
Can say, "Oh, I was drunk."
Oh, you hear that all the time. Oh, we had some crazy party.
I know I skinned your cat, baby, but I was drunk.
Sometimes when people are drunk enough to do things that are out of character for them.
Sure. I think we've all seen that, had examples of that.
Right.
Out of character, but not necessarily, I would think, out of the range of what desires might exist within them, you know.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't normally sleep with Roosh, but...
Yeah, you know, get a few drinks and you're like, well,
drink the fucking fifth of vodka. Roosh starts looking pretty sexy, you know.
It's not just a bad-looking guy, you know. It's more personality problems. But when I don't have to care about his personality problems, then you know.
Sure.
It's like,
I don't know though.
Fuck me like one of your whores, Roosh.
Gotta be pretty drunk to be on.
Make me feel like a piece of trash.
Gotta be pretty drunk to be on Steven Crowder, though, Sargon.
I had a nice conversation with him.
He's evil, though. You really need to realize that he is pure evil.
I got the same shit from him when I was talking after I was on you. So what can I do? Who do I side with?
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, at least you're neutral.
Yeah, you don't have to side with anybody, but you should check him out. He's evil.
I did see your videos about him, and you know, hey, I'm not defending anything that he's done in the past. It's nothing to do with me. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think you have to defend your associations. I guess my colleague Ben does feel that
No,
way.
it was a joke. Was a joke.
Ben, of course, has attacked
Just
every
trying to
guest
fuck
of the
with
show.
Yeah.
All right, so
it's getting crowded in this drunken pussy.